Wonder. Hope you're doing well. There is so much division in the crypto space right now, specifically in the Hex community. It's incredible. There is so much division. There's so much divisiveness. Wow, the bear market is bringing the best and the worst out of people, but more so, what's being highlighted is the ugly, the worst. And for what? How is this translating into value? How is this translating into, up and to the right? How is this translating into, pumping the bags? How's it translating to price increase? How? I guess people are tired. People are tired. People are exhausted. They're drained. Folks are just like went pulse chain and can't take it anymore. And so you see what's going on now. Like this is more than just about some drama. This is just like constant ongoing bickering and tension and disagreeing and arguments and my goodness. Like it's and look, I've been feeling strange too. I'm not even gonna act like I'm better than anyone out here. I've been ranting and raving about certain things, but ultimately it's about what work is being put forth to help pump our bags, to help create more opportunities for people to just win collectively. We talk about community because it's essential. I don't always agree with some of the specific nuances within community and activities and stuff, but still, we need the community to allow these tokens to work, to utilize these blockchains for what they're created for. Because without the community, everything is wrecked. Everything goes to zero in general, but without the community, even more so. And it's just like, man, this is a small example of why I never really understand why people think that everyone at some point is going to get along, because that's not reality. That's not life. This is indicative of that. True to form, because I don't even know where to start to I can't even tell you where to start to even identify the examples of the division that's taking place within the community. You could look at it from different angles. What's one angle? Hex OGs versus the new people and their conflict in ideology, conflict in right philosophy and how things should go. Another example, the Ethereum merge with Pulse Chain versus ETH POW and ETH Fair. Another example, Hex derivatives versus Hex. I mean, the list goes on. It just goes on. And this is among, like, folks, we always try to seek some type of information because that's how crypto works. We need to be remain attuned to what's going on because the space moves super fast. It just is, and so you got to be careful what you take in because you'll find yourself becoming emotionally charged where you might mess around and make a mistake. And this is what happens a lot in the bear market. The worst comes out of people. And people emphasize and hold on to the worst behaviors and do crazy things and allow themselves to get caught up in their feelings to lose sight of like the bigger picture. The bigger picture is really the long-term picture. I mean, if this is about generating wealth, right? If you want to experience 10,000x gains again and again, is it something that you want to experience for one day and run, or you want this to happen for the rest of your days to the point where you could pass it down to, someone else or future generations if you have a family, etc., etc. I mean, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Because none of these arguments that folks have, these disagreements and everything, and I've always said it, and it's just the truth, and I'm gonna keep saying it. People, it doesn't matter. No one cares. No one cares about anything other than their bags at the end of the day, because that's what it looks like. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Because if you're talking about protecting people from getting wrecked, you're also talking about protecting the interests of your bags and how you want to create a situation to where your bags continually pump over a period of time. That's why some people get upset. For another reason why a lot of people don't talk about buying hex anymore. A lot of new people are not talking about buying hex. They're talking about selling their hex and buying other things. And that creates a great deal of friction, right? Because people ultimately really don't care. The founder of Hex is fighting for attention. Like, this is what he's doing. He's fighting for attention, which I have my own feelings about. But how is that translated into price activity up and to the right? T-shares going up and to the right, but Hex price has just been stagnant. How, what, 95% dip throughout his whole rage marketing, right? Meaning, what I'm trying to say is folks are going to do what they're going to do. People just don't care. And the founder knows that. But he's going to do what he feels is right for him to do to yield the best amount of attention that he can gain. And that it is what it is. I'm not crazy about him saying things on stream that just like make me cringe left and right. But the bottom line is, again, people are going to do what they're going to do. You have new content creators that just sit here, 2 years and under, that espouse things and talk, and new people might come in and they see them and they might think that those new guys know what they're talking about, when a lot of them don't. They really don't. You have folks who've been in crypto for years, and after a while, after you listen to them for a while, you could tell they have no idea what they're talking about, because they'll tell you something and then they show you something else, right? Where they didn't really fully grasp what's going on based on statements that they would make to show you, oh, okay, there's some inconsistencies here and there. Because this is about constant learning, work that you have to do on your own time for yourself, so that you can identify, oh, wait, that's true. Oh, wait, that's a lie. Oh, wait, I might or might not agree with this and that. It's because you have your foundation already strong. You're building on your own time. You're developing on your own time. You're educating yourself and learning on your own time, not just for the world to like farm views and audience and viewership, etc., to build a channel and act like you now a crypto expert. There is so much division. Why? And this is something that happens in the bear market that people don't understand. Folks who've been in crypto should know by now. If you've been through these cycles already, you should know. And not let these people, these new people or whatever, or even old people, like, say certain things to just throw you off your path or make you feel like you don't know what's going on, or that you wrong. Who cares about who's right or wrong? Because that's the thing too. A lot of people, they put the mathematics aside, they put logic aside, they put rationality aside, and they allow their ego, their pride to come to the fore. And now it's about who's right and who's wrong. Well, what about when you're looking at your wallet? What about when you're looking at the charts? I'm looking at an opportunity for up and to the right. That's all I'm doing. I have to field questions on my own time from people who I onboarded, who are asking me questions, serious, thoughtful questions about why certain things are the way they are. And I'm doing the best on my own time, without getting paid, without wanting popularity, without anything, because this is not for that. I don't care about any of that. I'm doing this because this is what matters. Because a year or two from now, 3 years from now, the next bull market, none of this is going to matter. People are not going to remember this to great detail. And they're going to see and look back. And for a lot of people, they're going to be ashamed because of the way they acted. And maybe, it's a constant learning experience. And some of the things I talk about, I try to give, like, I guess maybe description to capture what may or may not happen based on things that have occurred in the past, so that you could look at it, maybe use it as a flashlight when you're going through a dark, confusing space in your life dealing with crypto, for you to avoid some of the pitfalls that I might have experienced, to help you, so you don't, so when you look back, you can say, oh yeah, I see, it makes sense now. If I do X, Y, and Z, this might happen. And I avoided it because I listened to somebody else who talked about their experiences and possibly learn and avoid a bad situation. But like some of these, this is just crazy. The vision is just nasty. It's disgusting. You can't stop people from entering and exiting the space. That's another thing too. I'm not crazy about certain people being in crypto, but look, if we talk about spirit of decentralization with a little bit of centralized control, or vice versa, or whatever, if crypto's for the people, it is for the people, and not everybody's benevolent. You have folks who are malaligned, who are, miscontent, who are people who are just wicked, period. Bad people all around. If it's about freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of participation, whatever you want to call it, they'll be in the space too. Look, we deal with everyday currency, our own currencies, whether it's the dollar, it's the pound, it's wherever. And that's everyone using it. It's afforded for everyone to use. So what should be the difference in crypto? Why do we try to go through this gatekeeping, this fake pseudo censorship participation stuff that we do? People always remember, how Hex was gate kept in the beginning, and how it's still gate kept to even till now. And then when things come up, which it really does suck when you got people who come out of nowhere, come into the community, they build an audience and support, and then they try to, shield their own tokens, introduce the community to a bunch of other stuff. But how can you stop that? How can you stop that? Sometimes it's contradictions that I see reappearing with certain things. And it's been the same type of thing ongoing over and over and over again. You know, it's what it is. This is the wild, wild west still. It's the wild, wild west, even now and still, and it's whatever. It's like, it sucks. And it's difficult. Waiting and having nothing working in your favor, and you waiting to experience some 10,000x, and you're like, man, what's going on? What's happening here? How's this gonna work? Etc. 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 Why is this happening? Not happening? Blah blah blah. I get it, but looking to fight with people is not, it doesn't get you anywhere. Extra, trying to ostracize individuals in the community too. I get it, because people could have reasons to want to feel like that. Like, man, you're not helping the community. So go on with yourself. Go kick rocks with no shoes on, right? I get that, but at the same time, the person, if they don't want to go, who's going to make them go? Because the blockchain is not a physical, right? It's not a physical entity. You can interact with crypto and no one will ever know. You could be the best person. You could be a saint in the world interacting with crypto. You could be the wickedest of the wicked interacting, and no one would ever know. They could just keep their mouth shut. And what are you going to do? When you say somebody shouldn't be in a community, you just basically telling them, listen, well, it's not you basically telling them, but all they could do is just do it anyway. With either their vocal and their presence, and they want to be popular, and they want to be in everybody's face on social media and presence and blah blah blah, or they'll just not say anything and still be in the community. Who cares? Because you look at your wallets again, you look at your wallets, you look at these charts, and it's just what it is. This is what this is all for. What work are we putting in as a community to make sure everything that we all thrive? We all thrive. I don't care who got rich already and have their strong opinions about whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care who's broke and have their strong opinions about etc. etc. It doesn't matter, because we all got to work in unison in some shape, form, or fashion. We may not have to agree together, but this is how these things work. This is a market can't work without a community of people making the market work. It's true. It's true. Like what it, again, like what are folks looking for? Perfection? That doesn't exist. How can we expect perfection when we're not perfect people? That's what I'll never understand too, right? We can try to do something as perfect as we might perceive something to be, but is it really perfect? Are these really perfect situations? You know, you'll have the good and bad and everything at all times, all the time in our waking lives. So why ingest the poison? Why introduce and embrace toxicity? Why hold on to the bad? Why, you know, hurl that energy around? No, redirect it. Transform yourself. Live above this meager ways of a miscreant. These low level vibrations of thinking and being and wanting to hurt other people for what? For what? I could easily do that. And then, but it's not gonna help me. It's not gonna help my loved ones. It's not gonna help the people who I onboarded. Right? It's crazy. And I kind of have to like also like say this about Richard too. Like he's doing whatever you're doing because he doesn't work for nobody. This is what he says, blah blah blah. But he wants people to also work. And if you want to see a change, you do it. You want to see improvement in the community. You want to see something that's missing in the community, or you could identify that the community needs. You do the work. He doesn't work for anybody. But at the same time, you could kind of see, well, if it's about gaining attention and increasing a Twitter following, that's great. But again, I'm looking at these wallets, like, and I'm saying wallets, I'm speaking out of jest, but I'm saying, I'm looking at my the chart, and the price hasn't increased. You might have increased in fellowship, but I don't see the price action go up. I don't see it. Maybe it's something that could go back to the drawing board, Richard, and do something else, but who cares? Because you're going to do you. And folks are doing them, but it's like, yo, it's looking crazy. Yeah, I was very vocal about certain projects that come out and even up till recently with Zen and everything, but I had nothing like really personal with Jack or Zen. I was just tired of the influx of coins constantly being bombarded and thrown upon the community that I talk about now. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about for over a year. And I just got tired of it. And Zen was the straw that broke the camel's back. If people are winning in Zen, that's great. That's great. If you're not getting scammed, then this is about whatever this first principle talk and no admin keys, immutable code, censorship resistant, all that good stuff, whatever, whatever. But then even then now, people are trying to dissect everything Jack is saying and saying that calling Richard a scammer because he's not, selling the OA or whatever, staking, whatever it is, who cares? Because I don't see that helping the hex price go up if everything is about hex. Right? I'm not seeing all this division help anything with the price. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Everything time is gonna tell where everything stands. Time is gonna tell who's who. Time is gonna tell who stays and who remains and who leaves. And that's just what the part of the program. Whatever. Doesn't mean that I'm better or people are better than others. It's just what it is. This is not the first time we've been through things, and I'm not saying just Hex, because I've been in other communities too before Hex. It's not the first time I've seen things like this occur, where folks don't get along or people, get scammed and they're wrecked and they're upset, and folks are just like, they give up on crypto and never come back or whatever. That's their choice. It's freedom. It's just what it is. We espouse all this talk about independence, peer-to-peer, freedom, sovereignty, all this stuff. We talk about this all the time, and we're quick to criticize one another because we're infallible people. That's why. Not infallible. We're fallible. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. And this is part of the whole growing pains and learning and the maximum pain for maximum gains. A lot of us are not going to experience 10,000x gains for sure. You could see that. Just by the way people are interacting right now, and they're talking about things, and they have this degenerate behavior or spirit about them. You could see that people are not going to experience 10,000x gains. And there was a developer that even went on stream recently and identified on the blockchain that, a lot of people really didn't experience 10,000 X gains because they didn't buy Hex on the day when it was the lowest to the day 623 days later after that. I don't know how true that is. He looked at the blockchain. It should be there. Go do your research to identify it and find out. It is what it is. But a lot of us are not going to experience these things. We're gonna, some of us are gonna just dump right at onset. Some people are just gonna wait and experience it or do even better. But who cares? Because it's about what you got going on, what works for you, not embracing the drama. Because the drama is destructive. It's very destructive. Why think about that? Why, Richard is going to talk his crap. He's going to talk all kinds of foolishness and nonsense like he did in Hexo Stream with Crypto Coffee and Explosive Artists. I think that's the guy's name. Shout out to them. I know issues with them. I'm saying, but Richard sometimes he talks crap. After the important stuff is out of the way, then he gets real loose because I guess he's kicking back and he's relaxed and he grew up around black people, so he feels very comfortable to say nigga like it's nothing. But that's him. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Cancel him? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I could say, oh no, Richard, you're not supposed to be saying these things, blah blah blah. But what does that do? What does that do to the overall Hex token, the overall project that we're waiting for to launch, which is Pulse Chain? What does that do for Pulse X? What does that do for our bags? What does that do for our well-being and receiving consistent rewards on a daily basis if we're staking? What do these things do? I could easily say that all that stuff he's doing is causing things to become problematic. It's sure, but that's just my opinion. And my opinion may be shared with others, but ultimately in 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years from now, because there's no perfect situation, things might be looking a lot better than it's looking now. I used to wear a fake crypto crusader cape years ago, trying to shout out and call out promoters who would shill trash on crypto. I was doing that years ago, and no one cared. It didn't make a difference. People in fact, it got worse, right? Folks continue to shill and continue to be paid to shill trash and shill popular scams. That's what they did. Because folks don't care. And that's just how it is. It's the reality, whether you want to accept it or not. So where do we stand? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even know, we're one day closer to the next all-time high for Hex, Pulse Chain launch, and all that. Yeah, we gotta wait. It is what it is. It's hard, but come on, live life. There's great things happening too in our everyday. Everything is not supposed to be glued. We're not supposed to be living glued to these devices, thinking and looking at what people are saying about different things that may not agree with what we have or what we believe, and get all upset and flustered, and then want to just fight somebody that we'll probably never meet. Wasting energy. Wasting energy. At this point, I don't know when Pulse Chain is going to launch. But I'm not going to be all upset and depressed and just, miserable. No. I don't know what folks are doing in this community. I don't know what they're doing right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. You could see it. You could see it. And people don't even, they just show you who they are. And when they do that, believe them. When people reveal to you and show you who they are, just simply believe them. And keep it moving. Live your life. Do what it is that you have to do. There's contradiction. There's hypocrisy, right? People lie all the time. Sure, but people try to also put their best foot forward and do what's right and be kind and just supportive and right? Offer goodwill and fellowship and truth and show it. Well, come on, man. Really have to do better. We have to, folks, come on, listen. There's so much going on. What are we talking about? There's so much going on. There's so much greater going on, and then folks are caught in their feelings of who's right, who's wrong. You got nothing better to do? I'm taking time out right now, sacrificing time that I need to do some other things important because I just had to share this. But trust and believe, like, my life is just not all about this. And folks are showing you their life is all about this. So it must be good. If all you got going on for yourself is getting on Twitter, getting on some kind of post on social media, creating blogs, creating friction, conflict, chaos, and confusion, your life must be good. You must not have anything really better to do. Right? I mean, how productive is that? Maybe it's productive in a destructive way. But really, how constructive is that? It's not. Think long, think long, think long. Think long. What are we doing today so that we could benefit from tomorrow? Not what are we doing today? No, what are we destroying today so that we could suffer tomorrow? You're like, really? Make it make sense.
He did his thing. Mr. T meets Mr. Betrayal. Mr. T meets Mr. Betrayal. The kids call me old timer. Why? Cause I'm shining. Brighter than Richard Hart's Black Diamond. And tell the children put the guns down and stop wilding. They on demon time. You hear the police sirens?